From Royal Communications Incorporated. Good afternoon and welcome to King's Newsroom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, in our one world. Today is Thursday, February 26, 2026, and I'm Sherman Dia presenting. In the airlines, over 12,000 students graduated from University of Liberia during 105th graduation on Wednesday. We President Dr. Lady Mampayan urges graduates to use acquired education and impact national development drive. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. And also in the news this afternoon, Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocol, and detrimental actions, says an parallel convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from home, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that would have provided 367 million in funding for 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions on four leaders of South Saudi's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of Al Fashar. These plus the news bulletin, voices of those making the news at our package. We'll take a short break to be right back. Welcome back and thanks for being there. It is John Travel Johnson, and just with the news bulletin.
The University of Liberia has graduated over 2,000 students from its 105th graduation ceremony on Wednesday. Speaking during the ceremony, UL President Dr. Lydia Mapayan called on graduates to demonstrate excellence in their respective disciplines and reflect the university's reputation and contribute meaningfully to national development. She emphasized the critical role of education in nation building. Dr. Lydia Mapayan further encouraged the undergraduates to apply knowledge and skills acquired throughout their academic journey to address societal challenges and drive positive change across Liberia and beyond. Reflecting on the students' academic journey, Dr. Mapayan highlighted the numerous internal and external challenges they faced, noting that their successful completion of studies stands as a testament to their resilience, dedication, and commitment to higher education. She described the graduates as precious stones whose talents and potential will illuminate Liberia and contribute to global progress. Dr. Lydia Mapayan also used the occasion to commend the faculty and administrative staff of the University of Liberia for their unwavering commitment to academic excellence and institutional growth. She noted that the successful hosting of the 105th commencement convocation marks a significant milestone as it represents the first graduation held under her leadership as president of the University of Liberia. Former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has called on education stakeholders to urgently incorporate anti-corruption education into primary and secondary school curricula across Liberia. She described the initiative as means of broadening students' understanding of the effects and consequences of corruption particularly its impact on governance and national development. The former Liberian president reiterated her long-standing position on corruption, indicating that it remains a major challenge to Liberian society, a concern she previously described as the country's public enemy number one during her administration. Former President Sirleaf emphasized that integrating anti-corruption education into school programs will enhance public awareness and strengthen national efforts to combat corruption. She noted that educating students about the consequences of corruption from early age will help cultivate a generation committed to transparency, accountability, and national development. She underscored that while combating corruption requires the collective effort of all citizens, she emphasized that it remains the government's primary responsibility to create a level playing field that will encourage inclusiveness and participation. Mangibi County Superintendent O.J. Morris has delivered his monthly performance report outlining progress and challenges encountered since assuming office. In his address, Superintendent Morris stated that his administration has made notable strides in key sectors, including education, health, and the promotion of peace and stability across the county. He emphasized that within his first 6 months in office, efforts have been made to strengthen service delivery and improve living conditions for residents. The Mangibi County Superintendent at the same time acknowledged that his leadership continues to face significant challenges, highlighting the issue of reconciliation. He explained that many residents are at odds with one another, a situation he described as deeply concerning and difficult to manage. The superintendent, however, reaffirmed his commitment to fostering unity and ensuring continued progress for the people of Mangibi County. The Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee has announced the suspension of its United States branch entire interim leadership due to gross insubordination, violation of party protocols, and actions deemed detrimental to the party's unity. A resolution signed by CDC Acting Global Chair Anthony Lord Janga Cole disclosed that the decision was reached during an emergency next session held on February 22nd at the party's temporary national headquarters in Sinka. Those suspended with immediate effect include Yaya Sharif, CDC USA interim chairman, whose earlier suspension was reaffirmed, Donna Tode, acting chairman, and several other officials of the branch. CDC NEC also announced the suspension of 2 chapter leaders in Minnesota and Iowa due to their alleged involvement in action that undermines the party's authority. According to the party's press statement issued Tuesday, all suspended officials have been referred to the party's National Grievance and Ethics Committee for further investigation, with possible disciplinary action expected to be taken. At the same time, the executive committee of the party has declared an parallel convention, including a reported gathering being organized in Minnesota, as illegal, null, and void, stating the controversy stems from what the National Executive Committee of the party described as prolonged administrative impasse within CDC USA. According to the resolution, the interim leadership allegedly refused to submit an agreed electoral roadmap, declined to attend NEC meetings, and challenged the authority of the party's highest decision-making body outside of National Congress. The NEC argued that its actions are grounded in provisions of the party's constitution, which grants it the supervisory authority over all national and international branches. The party has cautioned members and supporters in the diaspora against conducting business or financial transactions with these suspended officials under the guise of representing the Congress for Democratic Change. The Liberia National Police Nimba County Detachment has forwarded to court Mary Gia, a 61-year-old woman accused of killing her 3 grandchildren in Mela Town, Nimba County. The incident, which reportedly occurred on Sunday, February 22nd, triggered widespread public outrage, with several residents of the community, including the victim mother, attributing the act to alleged witchcraft practices. In a statement issued Wednesday, the Liberia National Police disclosed that the suspect admitted to causing the deaths of the three minors following a police investigation into the matter. According to the statement, the accused reportedly claimed that her actions were influenced by a demonic spirit. The police assured the public that the matter is being handled with utmost seriousness and that justice will be pursued in accordance with the law. In another development, the Liberia National Police has launched an investigation into an alleged attempted rape involving one of its officers assigned to the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. According to the LNP, the incident was formally reported on February 24th through its Professional Standards Department and the Women and Children Protection Section of Grand Bassa County Detachment. Speaking Wednesday at LNP headquarters, police spokesman Sam Collins disclosed that investigation is being conducted in line with the established laws, regulations, and internal accountability standards. We noted that the accused officer, whose identity is being withheld, is currently undergoing internal administrative review pending the outcome of the investigation. Mr. Collins emphasized that as the investigation remains ongoing, the officer is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. The police spokesperson also reaffirmed the LNP's zero tolerance toward misconduct, particularly in cases involving sexual and gender-based violence, abuse of authority, and violation of human rights. Mr. Collins maintained that any officer found guilty of criminal, unethical, or sexual and gender-based violence-related conduct will face the full weight of the law, in addition to eternal disciplinary action. Former Montserrat County Representative candidate Ayuba Suare has formally announced his membership into the Congress for Democratic Change. Remarking at the disclosure Wednesday on Kings FM, Mr. Suare noted that his decision was followed by an official communication addressed to CDC Secretary General Jefferson Koji, declaring his intention to join the former ruling party. According to him, the move followed careful consideration and reflects long-standing commitment to national development, democratic governance, and the preservation of public trust. He further praised the Congress for Democratic Change for what he described as its history as a people-centered political institution, emphasizing that it operates as a party of the people, by the people, and for the people. Ayuba Suare also pledged his full commitment to collaborating with fellow partisans in support to intensify the re-election bid of former President George Weah. He expressed the importance of CDC returning to power in 2029, vowing to spearhead extensive recruitment efforts aimed at strengthening the party's numerical base ahead of the elections. The former Montserrat County District 18 representative candidate also dismissed claims by some individuals believed to be supporters of the ruling party regarding efforts to prevent Weah victory in 2029, describing such assertions as scare tactics. He maintained that no opposition efforts from the ruling establishment will hinder the former president's chances of securing victory in the upcoming presidential election. The Grand Old Ruling Party has officially written the National Elections Commission requesting to hold its 37th National Convention and the elections of new Corps of Officers in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, beginning April 30th this year. TDRP political leader Eric Olson disclosed that the decision to write a new letter to NEC for a new date for the party's national convention followed the abortive gathering because of confusion regarding the delegates. Addressing a press conference in Monrovia, Olson added that issues that aborted the February 14 national conference have been resolved. According to him, Regina Goodrich also being informed of the developments unfolding regarding the selection of delegates in order to hold a peaceful national convention. The True Party political leader expressed the hope that the National Convention Committee will be given free will to conduct the convention and hold elections for new corps of officers. Founded in 1869 in Clay Ashland, the True Wind Party was the oldest political party in Liberia and Africa, representing the interests of the dark-skinned American Liberian settlers. The TWP first came to power with the election of Edward James Roy in 1869, who became president in 1870, and the party remained in power until 1980, when it was dissolved following a violent military coup led by Master Sergeant Samuel Doe, which brought an end to Americo-Liberian political dominance. And about 60 students from Islamic schools around the country are expected to converge for the 9th edition of the Liberia National Quranic Competition in Monrovia. A board member of the Liberia National Quranic Competition, Alpha Jallo, disclosed that the first place winner will be awarded 1,500 United States dollars. Speaking at a press conference in Monrovia Wednesday, Jallo explained that the competition also has other prizes, including scholarships and cash awards. He added that the competition is intended to encourage excellence among the students, promote high standards of education and professionalism amongst the students. According to Jallo, competition, which begins on Friday, will last for 3 days and will bring prominent Islamic scholars and Muslims to the opening and closing ceremonies.
Sam Andrews with the News Bulletin. The News Bulletin is a regular feature on King's News Broom. A reminder you listen to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our own world. Seriously following this afternoon, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocol, and detrimental actions, says any parallel convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from home, Zimbabwe has rejected the U.S. health deal that will have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions on 4 leaders of Sudanese paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of Al Fashar. Take a break to be back with voices of the newsmakers. Welcome back and thanks for being there. University of Liberia President Dr. Lady Mampine has called on graduates of the 105th graduation class to demonstrate excellence in their respective disciplines to reflect the university's reputation and contribute meaningfully to national development. She emphasized the critical role of education in nation building. Dr. Mampine further encouraged the graduates to apply knowledge and skills acquired throughout their academic journey to address societal challenges and drive positive change across Liberia.
All 1,255 of you are my diamonds. When I arrived at UL just over inauguration, each some enrich in gems. That's you. I talked about how education would polish and refine those gems. Now, here we are at the end of your academic journey, and you have become shining diamonds. Diamonds, they say, are forged from 3 essential forces: pressure, heat, and time. They start out as pure carbon deep beneath the earth. Over time, subjected to intense heat and intense pressure, their structure changes from one form to another and they become the hardest known material on Earth. Unbreakable, brilliant, of great worth. I've watched you. You've experienced pressure, the pressure of grades, the pressure of completing research, financial pressures, family pressures, work pressures, health scares, the pressure of no data, the pressure of no transportation, and even other kinds of pressures, and you know what they are. You've also experienced heat, the heat of deadlines, the heat of class disruptions, the heat of the student handbook, the heat of graduation clearance, and even the literal heat of the Liberian sun, too little air cool in our classroom. And you've spent time, some of you a long time, getting your education at UL. Long enough for you to finally become diamonds. Diamonds, I am proud of you. I am in admiration of you. You are the first to graduate on my watch, and that makes you precious to me. You are special people at a special time, my precious class of triumph. You have. The road has been rough, and the journey has been challenging. But through the unique grace and mercy of the Almighty God, you have made it as students at the University of Liberia. And like the national anthem says, you have over all prevailed. Let me encourage all 1,255 of you as you go out today to brilliantly shine and represent your alma mater to the fullest and best of your ability. We who have formed you are proud to send you outfielders in your respective field with the recognition and respect attached to your UL degree. You in the wider Liberian society and the world, and may you always be that shining light.
President of the University of Liberia, Dr. Lady Mampayan. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has called on educational stakeholders to urgently incorporate anti-corruption education into primary and secondary education curricula across the country. She described the initiative as means of broadening students' understanding of the effects and consequences of corruption, particularly its impact on governance and national development. The former Liberian president reiterated her long-standing position on corruption, indicating that corruption remains a major challenge to Liberian society, a concern she previously described as the country's public enemy number one during her administration.
We also have to start teaching in the schools. We have to talk in all the different community meetings. You have to tell people the consequences of corruption, why our country is not developed, why people will take money from Liberia to do other things, to buy homes abroad and whatnot, and use the Liberian people. The money that they pay is something that we have to keep fighting it at all levels, and hope that everybody feel that they have a responsibility of to know this country to be in the shape and at the stage of development that they all call for and that they all want to see.
Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Former North County District 13 Representative Kennedy Ayuba Soare has formally announced his membership in the Congress for Democratic Change, remarking at a closure. Speaking on King's Haven Wednesday, Soare noted that his decision was followed by an official communication address to CDC Secretary General Jefferson Koji, declaring his intention to join the former ruling party. According to him, the move followed careful consideration and reflects his long-standing commitment to national development, democratic governance, and the preservation of public trust.
So as you saw on my social media post, what I posted was not just an announcement, it was a formal communication written, and that communication has been sent to the Secretary General of the party. And I can tell you, I've received calls from two important party executives I'm going to reach out to every person that I know who have not been a part of the CDC to give them reasons why they must come to the CDC. And I'm going to work along with the party executive to ensure that we reach to stakeholders within my community, within my constituents. To ensure we talk to them names that will add more weight to the Congress for Democratic Change. These are things we intend to do. Okay, and we are also intending to work with the party in other directions that might not be discussed, on the media. Some of those things will be decided by the party executive, but yes, we are going to work with them in every form and manner possible. Opinions are like noses, and everyone has one. That's their opinion. Is that the fight? No. Do they have the authority to decide who becomes president? No. Are they the only eligible voters in Liberia? No. These are scary tactics. These are, tactics they use to weaken seditions. But hey, we are going to ensure.
Ayuba Soare, they're speaking on King's Even on Wednesday. Liberia National Police has launched an investigation into an alleged attempted rape involving one of its officers assigned to the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. According to the LNP, the incident was formally reported on Tuesday, February 24, through its Professional Standard Department and the Women and Children Protection Section at the Grand Bassa Detachment. Speaking Wednesday at the LNP headquarters, police spokesperson Sam Collins disclosed that investigation is being conducted in line with established laws, regulations, and internal accountability standards.
The Liberia National Police confirms that it is investigating an allegation of attempted rape involving an officer assigned to the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. The allegation was formally reported on Tuesday, February 24, 2026, through the Professional Standards Department and the Women and Children Protection Section at the Grand Bassa County Police Detachment. Upon receipt of the complaint, the Liberia National Police immediately initiated both administrative and criminal investigative procedures in accordance with established laws, regulations, and internal accountability standards. The officer concerned is currently subject to internal administrative review pending the outcome of the investigation. A preliminary investigation is underway to determine the facts and circumstances surrounding the allegation. The identity of the complainant is being withheld in keeping with legal and victim protection standards. The Liberia National Police emphasizes that the allegation remains under investigation and that the officer is presumed innocent unless and until proven otherwise by a court of competent jurisdiction. The NP meetings is zero tolerant policy towards misconduct, particularly the matters involving sexual and gender-based violence, abuse of authority, or violation of human rights. Any officer seen to have engaged in criminal, unethical, or STBV-related conduct will face the full weight of the law in addition to internal disciplinary measures. The Liberia National Police assures the public that this matter is being handled impartially, professionally, and without interference. Members of the public are encouraged to remain calm and allow the investigative process to proceed. Further update will be provided as appropriate in accordance with the law.
Police spokesperson Sam Collins. A reminder, you're listening to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, in our one world. Stories to follow in this afternoon. Over 12,000 students graduated from the University of Liberia during 105th graduation. UEL President Dr. Lady Mampayan urges graduates to use acquired education and impact national development draft. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary education curricula to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocol, and detrimental actions, says and in parallel convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from home, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that will have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions on 4 leaders of Sudanese paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of Al Fashar. Take a break to be back with more voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. The Grand Truic Party has officially written the National Elections Commission requesting to hold its 37th National Convention and the elections of new corps of officers in Buchanan Grand Bassa County beginning April 30 of this year. TWP's political leader, Eric Olson, disclosed that the decision to write a new letter to NEC for a new date for the party's National Convention followed the abortive gathering because of confusion regarding the delegates.
We have solicited some professionals to join us. We will be reaching to Mr. Goodrich so that we can schedule the completion of our 37th annual convention. We written NEC to let her know what happened at Buchanan, and we asked for them to endorse a date for April 30th to be our final date to complete our 37th annual convention. So that's why I thought it wise to let everyone know that irrespective of what you see happening, Truic Party will continue to be a beacon of hope, will continue to lead a political life that will show respect for human rights, respect for other opinions, democracy, and the rule of law, because we've come a long way when it comes to fighting. From 1979 and even beyond, we've been fighting. So we're not strange to it. However, Truic Party has to be the one that brings us together. No matter where you're from, no matter your political affiliation, your religious affiliation, your ethnic background, you can always and you are always welcome to the Truic Party, because we want to create a nation where the only way we can achieve higher heights is by ensuring that there is the total involvement of all of our citizens.
Political leader of the Grand Truic Party, Eric Olson. About 60 students from Islamic schools around the country are expected to converge for the 9th edition of the Liberia National Quranic Competition in Monrovia. A board member of the Liberia National Quranic Competition, Alpha Jallo, disclosed that the first place winner will be awarded $1,500. Speaking at a press conference in Monrovia Wednesday, Jallo explained that the competition also has other prizes, including scholarships and other cash awards.
The United Alma of Liberia is proud to announce the 9th edition of the National Quranic Competition, scheduled to take place from February 27 to March 1, 2026. The National Quranic Competition underwent a preliminary competition with 134 students registered and 130 successfully took part. 60 students qualified based on merit in all 5 categories. This preliminary event served as a platform for inspiration, faith, and youth empowerment, celebrating the dedication of young scholars from across the country. The 3-day event will be hosted in 2 primary locations in Monrovia. Day 1 and Day 3, Friday, February 27 and Saturday, February 28. The competition commences with an opening ceremony and preliminary rounds at the 17th Street Mosque. Day 3, Sunday, March 1. The grand final and closing ceremony will be held at the Executive Pavilion, Royal Asmore and Brandon Street, where the winners will be crowned. This year's edition marks a significant expansion, featuring 60 students from 6 counties. Participants will compete in 5 categories from the Holy Quran. Categories include full Quran, 20 juzu, 15 juzu, 10 juzu, and 5 juzu. Beyond the spiritual awards, the competition offers substantial incentives to participants and support educational journey to the participants. A cash prize of 1,500 USD will be awarded to the winner. Additional prizes include educational scholarships, academic materials, recognition awards, and certificates. This competition is about more than prizes. It is about nurturing characters, strengthening faith, and motivating the next generation to embody the values of the Holy Quran.
Alpha Jallo, a member of the Liberia National Quran competition. Mangibi County Superintendent O.J. Morris has delivered his monthly performance report outlining progress and challenges encountered since assuming office. In his address, Superintendent Morris stated that his administration has made notable strides in key sectors including education, healthcare, and the promotion of peace and stability across the county. He emphasized that within his first 6 months in office, efforts have been made to strengthen service delivery and improve living conditions for citizens.
We'll be highlighting on our report today that we just started, where we came from, what we took over, and what we have done after we took over. What are the challenges that we inherited, and what are the challenges that we still have as a county for us to face together? And what a roadmap of progress of things that we think doing it together, we could take MAGIB to another level. So the week will be highlighting issues in education, health, infrastructure, peace, and conflict resolution, sports, youth engagement, security, agriculture, and we'll highlight issues on the county service sector, and we'll give you a roadmap on the issues that we want you to know as our focus. Fellow Magibians, we want to begin with the education. When we took over, we saw the construction of a model school that is here in Francis Louis Farm. We interacted with the Ministry of Education branch here, and we've considered the efforts. We have come to let you know that the school has been completed and is prepared to be dedicated.
The Mangibi superintendent at the same time acknowledged that his leadership continued to face significant challenges, highlighting the issues of reconciliation. He explained that many residents are at odds with one another, a situation he describes deeply concerning and difficult to manage.
One of the greatest challenges that we have, and we keep experiencing, is a challenge to reconcile Magibi County. Magibi County is a county that is administratively and politically centralized. The challenges we list here, we say reconciliation is cutting off in Magibi County. The stakeholders in Magibi County, former lawmakers and current lawmakers, they are not teaming up. Former superintendent and current superintendent, they are not teaming up. Former mayor, current mayor, they are not teaming up. Former leaders and current leaders are not teaming up. Citizens against citizens, youth against youth, adults against adults. What is the problem? Why are we fighting when we all say Magibi is our goal? We believe the deficiency now is because of the lack of unity and reconciliation among us. The toxic politics that just ended, it caused a massive division in our midst, where you have sedition, you have UPS, you have the other group of LP, but at the end of the day, one party won. Now it is now time that we push the Magibi agenda above any personality agenda.
Mangibi County Superintendent O.J. Morris. Away from home, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal that will have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand of sensitive data. The decision has come to light after a government memo from December was leaked, revealing that President Emerson Mnangagwa felt the deal was lopsided. The government spokesperson has since explained the U.S. was demanding the access to biological samples for research and commercial gain, but said it was not willing to share the benefits for future vaccines and treatments. And the UN Security Council has announced new sanctions on 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of Al Fashar. The deputy commander Abdurrahman Hamdan Dagalo and Brigadier General Al Fatah Abdullah Idris, more commonly known as Abu Lulu, who became known as the Butcher of Al Fashar, are among those proscribed. The others are RSF Deputy Commander Jido Hamda Ahmed and Field Commander Tijinin Ibrahim. The RSF capture of the city in October was one of the most brutal chapters of Sudan's nearly 3-year civil war. Last week, a UN fact-finding mission concluded that the violent takeover bore the hallmarks of a genocide. Well, on that note, that's how we come to a near end of this edition of King's Newsroom. But before we leave, a quick reminder of stories we followed in the headlines. Over 12,000 students graduated from the University of Liberia during 105th graduation. UAE President Dr. Lady Mapayan urges graduates to use acquired education to impact national development drive. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for incorporation of anti-corruption education into primary and secondary education school curriculum to promote public awareness and strengthen national efforts in combating corruption. And also in the news, you heard Congress for Democratic Change National Executive Committee suspends United States branch interim leadership for gross insubordination, violation of party protocol, and detrimental actions. Says an empowerment convention in Minnesota will be rendered illegal. Away from home, Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health bill that would have provided $367 million in funding over 5 years because of Washington's demand for sensitive data. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions on 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of Al-Fashar. Many thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped in making this edition of King's Newsroom a success. Sam Andrews brought you the news bulletin and Sarah Control. On behalf of the team, I'm Shaman Dale, I presenter. Thanks for listening and watching.